here that actually are former student athletes. As I said, Dr. Harrington, who was in the movie, and you walk past his statue all the time, and played here at LeMoyne College, as well as became one of our greatest mayors of the city of Memphis. Served as mayor longer than anybody else in the history of the city of Memphis, even today. Robert Newman, who you saw in the video, he was the MVP of the national championship team, and he went on in his career to not only be a successful basketball coach, but impact a lot of lives. Won state championships and the most. Nedra Brown, who's an athletic director in California at a community college in California, and has had an extensive career in athletics. Started right here on our women's basketball team, and played volleyball, as well as she coached our softball and volleyball teams here. And she actually played on the team, the women's basketball team that won the conference championship, the only conference championship the women won. She was a member of that team. And last but not least, Benjamin Mitchell. Benjamin Mitchell played on Coach Johnson's last team. So we got a member of Coach Johnson's probably second or third team. And then the last team he coached in 2005, Mr. Benjamin Mitchell was on that team. I think there was some videos of your team out there playing, Ben. And Ben is now one of the program directors at Hickory Hill Community Center, and he works with the community on a lot of projects. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our moderator, who is Mr. Jesse Chapman. You know him as Mr. Chapman here at the school, but he's also a former student athlete, and he was an outstanding track and field student who holds records still to this day in track and field. Mr. Jesse Chapman.
Go Magicians! Woo woo! Good afternoon, everybody. God, I hate Clinton out here, because he gonna say we were talking about him behind his back. That was Coach said he couldn't jump. Well, am I right? Okay, I just want to get it clear, even though we had talked about that before the movie came on, Bunza. But he could shoot it, though. He could definitely shoot it. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. I hope you was in for the same treat I was in for, even though I lived through knowing Coach Johnson and was touched in a whole awesome way by Coach Johnson. I still got tears in my eyes and enjoyed watching it. But that ain't not a Coach Johnson on that picture. I don't know who that is. We'll fix that. But I just enjoy until the day he died, the influence that he put on my life. Yeah. Because I was a little struggling boy coming out of South Memphis. I didn't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. I didn't know what I was going to do. He sent a guy over to my house, next door to my house. Old man named Flanagan was going to be the track coach. He said, go over there and offer that boy a scholarship. Shit, he can run. And that's what he did. He gave me a full scholarship. He had never seen me run. Somebody told him I could run. That's how Coach was. If certain people told him certain things, he went with it. He was a man of his word, and he always gave you what he said. He said, when you come over here, you're going to get a full scholarship. You're going to get a work-study job, but you bet not mess up. If you mess up, you're gone. There wasn't no second chances with Coach Johnson. And I mean, he was just a model that would last through these days in time, not them days in time. He would have made it through these days in time. But I'm the moderator, so I ain't going to tell my story about Coach Johnson. Where my questions at, my Marcus? I suppose I have some questions that I suppose to ask, but I don't need any. A lot of, you got them? Well, I'll start with lady on the panel, my friend and my sweetheart, Nedra. Nedra, tell us about. Okay, I'm gonna direct this question to. Coach Nedra. Looking back, what impact did Coach Johnson have on your life, and in what ways? You got a mic? Okay.
Well, I guess I'll start with, first of all, how I got to Lemoyne. When I first got here, I was 18 years old, just like Jesse, right here in South Memphis. Didn't have anywhere to go, nothing to do. And when I walked on campus, the first office I went into was Jerry Johnson. And I was broke, hungry, homeless. A lot of people didn't know that. Coach Johnson brought me in. I asked him if I could do work study. He didn't like people in his office. That was his space because he was, a messy guy. But he allowed me to come in. He hired me. He allowed me to maneuver in the office. He allowed me to run the office. And also what he didn't realize is that he was allowing me the opportunity to learn, because he didn't know, neither did I at the time, know what I was going to do, and he put me in that space. The things that Coach Johnson taught me are the thing I already knew what to do, and I became a coach at 23. I became a head coach at 23 because Jerry Johnson taught me at 18. I did his travel. I did his hotels. Marcus, I did your money, all your per diem. I did everything for Coach Johnson. And the only thing he asked of me is what Jesse just said: be reliable, be honest, and don't get in no trouble. Don't let him down. And for 2 years, he allowed me to grow, mature. And next thing you know, I was not only a student, but I became his colleague right next door. The very man that taught me and gave me an opportunity. Next thing you know, now we're basically partners. And so that's the first thing that Coach Johnson did for me when I stepped on campus in 1990.
Dr. Harrington, what lessons that you learned from Coach Johnson do you still find yourself utilizing the most?
Well, my history with Coach is very unique, as you could tell, because I didn't play basketball in high school, and I'm 6'6", so at that time we didn't have guys on the campus 6'8", 6'9", so I was very, very tall. That's Newman. He doesn't.
No, that's an Emma alert.
Oh, that is? I was gonna mess with it. You're right. We good? But anyway, let me tell you, to answer you, what Coach did for me, he helped to make me a man. I just want to cut through some stuff. He helped to make me a man. He instilled in me a competitive spirit. Just making a man out of me. He was hard on me at times. I remember he was trying to motivate me, and we had some new jerseys, so he didn't give me one. He passed out some new shoes. He didn't give me new shoes. So I remember Smokey Gaines. I said, Smokey. I said, man, what the hell Coach doing, man? You embarrass him and all that. So I literally went in what he gave me. I went in the coach's office, gave him no damn shoes. I quit. So my nickname is Duke. So Smokey said, come on, Duke, man. So Coach wanted me to come back. He saw what was in me, but I just felt he was trying to humiliate me. But that was good, because I came back and I played on the first team. Every year I got the most improved player award. So when I say he made a man out of me, was I took rejection, but it motivated me to practice more. And when I was playing against high school All-Americans. You heard him tell you about when the black players, we were all in the same conference. They weren't in the Big Tens. So Coach was Smokey Gaines, all them boys, they were high school All-Americans in their respective states. So I had to play against them and all of that, but Coach taught me discipline. Those projects across the street, Lemoyne Garden, they didn't look like they didn't look like in the old days how they look now. And we had to run 3 miles. We ran 3 miles before practice. And he would time us. Ruben would time us. You had a certain time. When you got out of class, you're going to hit them 3 miles, you clocked you. Okay? Then we practiced. Then we ran after we practiced. So then I had to walk 2 miles, Booney, because I live on campus. I walked 2 miles coming to this college and 2 miles going back every day, rain, sleet, or snow. So when I say to you, to answer your question, what did Coach do for me? Made a man out of me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want the baseball team to hear that. They need to know that. Coach Newman, you could really help us with this, because I know for a fact you experienced something like this when you were at Lemoyne. Can you discuss some times when you were discriminated against and how did you handle it?
Well, let me tell you something, young people. Discrimination ain't never going nowhere. Racism ain't never going nowhere. To this day, I still spend 2 or 3 hours reading every day, YouTube, reading about lynching and slavery and racism. And it's still here and it's going to always be here. So the thing that I learned from Coach Johnson was to love each other and work with each other.
Right.
And so I remember many games we were playing Lambeth and Carson Newman and referee cheating us like hell. I mean, right. But he taught us to roll up your sleeves and fight. That's life.
Right.
This man here saved my life once too. We still laugh about it to this day. I mean, my first couple of years coaching at Hillcrest, I didn't know. I had gone to Hamilton, I had gone to Tennessee State, I had gone to Lemoyne. I didn't know a lot about racism. But when I got my first teaching and coaching job, boy, it came falling out the ceiling on me, And I didn't know what was going on. Got caught up in it, would have lost my job if it were not for him and another guy named Dr. Sweet. They laughed at me because they were both Lemoyne people. And they just kind of made a joke out of this boy just getting his lesson, ain't it? Yeah. That's how I ended up in Melrose. He called the principal over there and told him, hey, you know Robert Newman? Yeah, I know that boy. He having some problem with racism. Well, what can I do for you? He said, can I send him over there to you? Yeah, send him on. That's how I got to Melrose, left Hillcrest. But I was at a school that had black-white prom. It was 1977, 78 in there. Had black-white prom. And they had rake stem. For those of you who know, they had what we call rakes because we all had afros. And very few days went by that I didn't see some dots in some white boys and white girls' eyes and face because it was some fights every day and we were whooping them with them rakes. And we had 21 plainclothes policemen on campus. I didn't know who they were because I'd never seen that before. That never happened in Hamilton or Melrose. But I ended up at those places because Coach Johnson always taught us to fight in spite of, because there's no way to keep it from happening. And to this day, 2023, I'm telling you, if you don't know, you got to roll up your sleeves, fight with each other, for each other, not against each other. Amen. Leave that alone. Right. Now, I got to say one thing, Jesse, that's going on right now to this group here. We got a fundraiser starting next week called Buck a Day. Our goal is to raise $100,000 in 4 months for youth. for the students at Lemoyne. Right. We don't want to dime. We want to have student support and Lemoyne support. That's another thing Coach Johnson taught us, to love your school. Right. I left Hamilton with 50, 60 scholarships. Me and Clint went to visit Missouri, Duke, Maryland. I had all kinds of scholarships. The people at Hamilton told me you need to go to HBCU. That's why I went to TSU. But they didn't feed us enough up there. So we saw that what you saw, man. I mean, I'm being honest. Now, they had what they call a little booklet, like food stamps. If you eat $2 worth, they told $2 out. Well, hell, I came from a family of 14 children. I want to eat, you know. And so our little booklets ran out about 3 or 4 weeks for the semester ended. So we begging some of our classmates, can give me a piece of your bread, you know. Let me eat on your card today. And we ran into Coach Johnson. And boy, when he told us, I'm going to take care, if you want to come back home now, you going to eat? I'm going to put a few dollars in your pocket. We want to give about $15 a month up there. That's all you got. They call it luncher fee. Johnson, I tell you what, he gave us about $150 a month. We were able to get that apartment on Willette over there. Me and Clint moved in that apartment over there. 1285 apartment 1. Never will forget it. But because of Jerry Johnson, he looked out for us like a daddy. And so I owe Lemoyne. I wouldn't trade my experience at Lemoyne for $1 million, you know. My wife graduated from Lemoyne. My daughter graduated from Lemoyne. My son coached baseball at Lemoyne, went to Lemoyne, finished at Pine Bluff, but we're a Lemoyne family. And we need to do that as a people. We're the only HBCU in Memphis. And Jerry Johnson, we're always on, the way I see it, we're on his back. He carrying us, you know. Right. And I never will forget the things he did for us as a group, and always made us aware of us not having the best of things, the facilities, you know. That didn't make you a man. It made you a man to be able to withstand what this society puts on you. And you got to go. You can't go backwards. You got to go forward. And so I learned that to this day. I'm so proud to be a magician. So proud.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Class of 75, champion. Benjamin, can you give an overview of your experience at Lemoyne under the tutelage of Coach Johnson to some of these young athletes that are in the room now?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? The last 2 years, that if y'all can just bear with me, the last 2 years of Coach Johnson's coaching career, the conversations me and him had about just life in general, about basketball, it was more than what we can all imagine. But everything that these people have said up here, these great legends that are sitting up here that have said, was absolutely true. The story doesn't change. Everything that he was saying in the videos, Johnny McClendon, all of this stuff, man, that it's repetitive. Those conversations, man, you had those conversations with him over and over and over again. But what Coach Johnson never did for me was, like they said, man, you know, we didn't have any big time schools or whatnot to go to. We could have, but we did. So, like they said, man, you know, you get that phone call. Hey man, Coach Johnson said come holler at me up at the gym. Man, Coach Johnson don't want me, man. I'm cool, man. I'm finna go I'm finna go out of town. We finna go try and, you know, hit this little league camp or something and see what's going on. Nah, man, Coach Johnson said come holler at me. So I came up here one day. He was sitting in the office. He said, son, come on in. I need to holler at you. Okay. He said, close the door behind you. You don't need nobody in your business. Man, what's going on, Coach? He said, man, sign this and be at practice tomorrow. What? Hey, man, no, this ain't, hey, Coach, we ain't even talked about it. He said, son, you ain't got nothing going on. Just come on over here. Just come on over here and I'm going to take care of you. I believed him. I played for Coach Sales before I got to Lemoyne. We had a real good run. Had the longest winning streak in the country in the junior college over at Southwest. Beautiful basketball. not knowing that I was going to be playing for another legend when I got here to LeMoyne College, I brought all of what I had, my heart, my family, right here to this school right here. And it was bigger than what you guys see right now. It's bigger than Saxon. It's bigger than Walker. This thing goes from South Parkway all the way to Riverside. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about, this is South Memphis talk. So you know what I'm saying? It's real. When I stepped in the building, man, my first game, I never knew Bruce Hall could get that live in here. I never knew it. Of course, you know, I'm from the east side of town, man. I played at Sheffield. You know, we played against BTW, Melrose, and all that. We had fairly good crowds. But when I got here, the motivation that he gave me to be not only just a pillar for the community, but, man, to sit here and be able to say thank you and be able to say, man, yeah, this is where you guys need to be, and we got to keep this going. Don't let this video documentary fool you. It's facts. It's facts. Because each and everything that he's done for these people right here, he did it for me. And we'll have like 40 years, 50 years in between. So the story never changes. Coach Johnson, we can go on and on and on talking about, you know, the days of what all he's done. But like you said, this community right here, they love you. It's all about you. Whatever you do here, it represents them. Everything that I had, I gave it to this hood. I gave it to this community. Whatever this community had for me, they gave it back to me all in love. To this day, I stand as a director of the city of Memphis, Community Parks and Services. Only thing I'm gonna say about that part is I wouldn't have never been in this situation if it wasn't for Coach Johnson, because he put it in me. Let me give y'all just a little bit more history. I ain't gonna be too long. I ain't that long-winded. I started out in the Marist program, age 15 years old. It started, I'm going to show you how it comes all to full circle. I started in his Marist program, gave me a job at the high school headliners, best thing ever happened to me. Coach Newman, he gave me the honor, man, of wearing his number. When I first got here, the only thing he told me, he said, son, you better light it up. I couldn't do nothing but do it. Miss Brown, soon as she gave open arms, love and caring. You know, I'm new to the block over here. You know, everybody got their own thing, but this my hood. This is where I'm from. I know everybody. But she was just like, man, you got to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just come in here, man, you know, gang banging, thug and doing this. It ain't about that. Throw that out the door. But when it got to Coach Sales said you need to go see him. And if you didn't come see Coach Johnson, man, 9 times out of 10, man, you're making the wrong type of decision. The best decision was stepping on the campus right here at LeMoyne College. So with that being said, Coach Johnson not only just touched all these people up here, but he made everybody get in position in life to where you could be able to help the next person behind you. And that's what that was the biggest thing for Coach Johnson. We're going to build generation after generation after generation so that each and every last one of you all had that opportunity to do what you're doing absolutely right now. Without Coach Johnson, none of us would have this. None of you would have that. This community would not be where it is right now.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Jeff, I got one thing. Bring me that head. Bring me that. This is 48 years old. This is Coach Johnson gave us these. 1975, 48 years ago.
Yeah, look like that.
Obviously, you know I treat it like gold. 48 years later, I can wear it right now. But that is just too big to get it on. But I still can put it on my arm. I'm proud of this, and I'm gonna keep it. And this ring here.
Right.
Do you have your ring on?
Oh yeah.
Head part. Okay.
Yeah.
This ring and this sweater, I will have to. They put me 6 feet up. I love LeMoyne that much, and Coach Johnson was my leader.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach. Before we turn it over, I want to turn it over to the young guys and young girls out there. I got one, you know, we talked about Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson he he was more than a father figure for a lot of us. See, I didn't have no dad what I lived at home with. And Coach Johnson just kind of took over my life. And not just Coach Johnson, President Horton, President Price, all of them. But I never will forget when I got to Lamont, I thought I had landed in heaven, Buns. I didn't know college life was so cool. I mean, it was the bomb. I had been at Booker Washington 2 years, went to Southside. Then I came to college. I said, damn, you could do anything you wanted to do, include not pay attention. And so I ran track, and I was like third or fourth on the depth chart. You know, so all I did was train, because I wanted to be better. I didn't go to school. I didn't go to take my classes like I was supposed to. The second semester, when we got through the first year, when we got ready to go to the next year, Coach Johnson found me over by the student center playing pinochle or something. He said, come here. I said, what's wrong, Coach? He said, are you going to school next year? I said, Coach, yeah, you know, I've been training. You know I'm going. He said, no, shit, you're not going. I said, why not, Coach? He said, shit, son, you didn't get but 6 hours. I said, what? And I said, how you know? He said, shit, I keep up with you all. I didn't give her 6 hours and was supposed to get 18, I think. So I wouldn't have been able to play the next year. He told me, he said, shit, if you want to come, I'm going to take a chance. He sent me to summer school 2 sessions so I could catch up. And I never looked back. He kept an eye on me like a hawk. I graduated in 4 years. You know, because Coach Johnson took it upon himself to watch over me, like your coaches do now. So don't think they watching over y'all just because they want to do something or to catch you doing something bad. They're watching over y'all because they love and want to true to y'all, make sure y'all be successful. They didn't ask y'all to come here to be unsuccessful.
Right.
They asked y'all to come here to be successful and to be winners because y'all represent a legacy.
Right.
This school been winning ever since I can remember. Even in football, the last football team we had in 1940, we was the champs. You know, so y'all got to represent. But this is what I'm gonna do.
Jesse, before you go,
somebody else got another question. Go on then.
Before you go to the crowd, I do want to stop real quick. We got to acknowledge some people that are in the stands. Or that's
3 of them I'm gonna bring up.
Okay, you gonna bring them up?
Those 3, right? 1,
okay.
2, 3. Yeah, former athletes.
We got Skippy back here. Skippy, stand up, Skippy. Skippy is the junior Jerry. Come on down here, Skippy. Come here, son. Y'all laughing, but Skippy is legendary. Skippy is legendary. He is the next best thing to Jerry. Everybody up here, they know Jerry. Man, right there, know Jerry.
You know that's the truth, man.
I know.
You know,
I know.
That's another thing about Skip. When we started celebrating Coach Johnson's birthday, I think he was 92 when we started. Was it 90? Okay, 90. I was the general manager at the hotel out east, and Skip called me and worked. Man, you know what? Coach Johnson gonna be 90. I said, yeah, Skip, that's good. He said, we got to do something. And that's when we started the annual celebration for Coach Johnson. I don't even know how much money we raised over the years with that. We started the Jerry C. Johnson Foundation, and we have given back a plenty, you know, because he told us, let's start celebrating Coach. You know, that's how that film stuff came about, you know. Because we loved our mentor. Yeah. We really did.
Marcus is in the stands. This is one of Coach Johnson's.
I didn't hear you.
Marcus Mitchell.
Yeah, I want Marcus and Pot and Wade and Coach Rudd.
Johnny Rudd.
I want them to share.
Johnny Rudd, a legend. He's a legend.
I'm gonna bring the mic down,
himself.
and I want y'all to share a short experience of how Coach Johnson affected you all's lives. Wait, you got better legs. Let me start with you.
Hey, I want to tell you. Oh Lord. Yeah, got a haircut. That's who keeps it like this. I think Mr. Chapman, A.D. Anderson, when I became working for Coach Johnson, I started off as a baseball manager out of Southside High School. And then I started working with Ezel. We called Juju. So he passed on, God bless him. And then we started working basketball for him. So he kept saying to me, look, boy, you need to go get your degree. At that time, I was working at FedEx. So I retired from FedEx, went back to school, received my degree in 2000 here at Lamont College. The next year, the Memphis Grizzlies came to town. So they came over from recommendation from Morehouse College. So it came to Coach Johnson also. He came to me and said, come up here, boy. You got your degree. You remember I told you? I said, yes, sir. He said, the Memphis Grizzlies want to see you downtown at the Marriott. Huh? He said, they got everything on you, too. I know you ain't been in no trouble because I know you're a humble streets South Memphis boy. You just like Jesse Chapman. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I went downtown. Jesse got married. And you young people better listen to this. They had everything on me when I was born from everything across that table back in that day. But the recommendation of Coach Jerry C. Johnson caused me to go to the NBA. And you all better start realizing how valuable this school is. And it has its value to you, and you have a value to your parents, and you have a value to your community. Thank you.
Okay, first. Oh, yes, sir. Like old time. I'm the only one in the school that, hold on just a second here. I'm the only one that's in here that had a chance to see Willie Harrington play. Nobody else in this building, I saw Will play. Will and my daughter, and that is my goddaughter. All the fuss you can see me coming around here. I've been here since when Coach Johnson got here in the 50s. I'm the only one in here that saw Coach Johnson first team. Several people on the pictures up here. Coach Sandrick says he was going on. He was the best man in my wedding, the best man in his wedding. Coach Willie Harrington was the mayor. He put me over the power commission. I had over 1,200 adult softball teams up under me, more than $1 million a year in revenue for the city. So, Coach Newman, he played on my semi-pro basketball team, and he was just as good then. Coach Newman's son played baseball for me. Love him like that. Nedra and my daughter graduated together over here, and they used to run around campus when I came over. Jackie, your dad is here. And so, you know, those sort of things like that. I have a lot of precious memories of all the people around here. And so, like, no one probably have ever officiated more basketball games at Lamont Orange than me. Coach Johnson got me started. Called from middle school, high school, college, and pro. So as of right now, as the head baseball coach here, so right now, fellas say like whatever these people are doing up here and see them up here, I would love to see, you know, in some years, if I make it that long, that y'all guys have gone and been successful. I had about 10, maybe 10 guys that made professionals, about 4 or 5 to the top. I've had guys that make it as, like I say, right now, police officers, ministers, all those kind of things like that. The uniforms, a lot of y'all guys, T-shirt. Right now, all I have to do is make a phone call and tell them send me some money to the store. They'll do it. So always, it's not how you do it or when you do it. Just do it right. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerome Potts. Everybody call me Head. I came to Lemoyne from Shelby State Shepherd State first opened in 1972-73, and I myself was on the first 2-year team. And when I graduated from Shepherd State, I came over here to Lemoyne. Robert Newman and Clint, you know, we all went to Hamilton together, but they was a year ahead of me. So I always wanted to play with them. I didn't get a chance to play at Hamilton with them because our high school coach, I went to Father Burchell one year. He told me that look, you're gonna play on the B team instead of playing with them. But anyway, I came over here with him and got with those guys and got a chance to play on the national championship team. And coach, I mean Dr. Herron, like he was saying, coach really made a man out of you now. Now the year that we won the national championship, I didn't get a chance to take the picture because he had 2 or 3 guys that was on the team that he just didn't let take the picture, and I was one of them. So I was.
But you can shoot it.
I did get an opportunity to play, and had it been for Robert Newman and Clint Jackson, I wouldn't have played that much. But I came off the bench and started playing a little bit. He teased me all the time, right? So
Now, let me tell you the truth. He came to the team. He was one hell of a player. And the first 2 or 3 times he got on the floor, he scored 30. I told him, man, he think he is. I mean, he got to get in line, man. He got to wait. He kept scoring, so I said, okay, I fixed that. So if he was on the right side, I'd take the ball to the left. If he was on the left side, I'd take the ball to the right. Then we got him in line, and we went on to win the national.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, hadn't it been for Coach Jones, I never got a chance to get my education. And, I got a chance to, work for the Park Commission. I was the director of McFarland Community Center. I worked for the city for 30 years, so I've been blessed. And thank God for Coach Johnson and Lemoyne Only College.
Yes.
How y'all doing? I'll make this quick. My name is Marcus Mitchell. I played for Lemoyne from 88 to 92. My most memorable moment with Coach Johnson, like I said, just like you all, when we first came to school, we were young and immature and a little silly. And I had a partner, man, we always used to play around all the time. He thought we were just the, most silliest guys on this basketball team. He kept threatening to put us off the team. I was smart enough to still get my work, but he wasn't. But when I saw we got to I think after the first year, and he took his scholarship, well, at least I know mine not going to get taken from not doing my work. So, once he left, I kind of straightened up a little bit. Coach Johnson, I think going into my junior year, called me to his house. I think he lived, if I'm mistaken, he lived on Prospect over there by Southside High School. Went to his house, called me during the summertime. Nobody was doing anything. Sat me down, talked to me, told me how things were going to be. I'm going to look out for it. But that was my most memorable moment because it let me know at that time that he really, really actually cared about me as an individual to take the time to have me to come over there. And we talked about a lot of life stories and things like that, and sometimes when you're that young, you hear him talking, but you're not listening, not really understanding. It took me a long time in my life to realize how many lives and people that Coach Johnson touched in this city of Memphis, to know that they even played for him or they knew him. You just didn't know until you get a little older and start doing a little research and be like, okay, now I understand. But like I said, he really touched me in that aspect, that take the time to sit down with me. And the more I learned about him, to realize the people that he touched are the people that admired him, because you can see the people today. And it's many, many more that's not here today. It's really unbelievable that all the, all the people that lives that he touched and knew all the things that he did. Me, I'm a retired major with MPD. I just retired from there in October. I left there. I was retired for 2 weeks, and now I'm a director of safety and security at Southern College of Optometry. But like I said, all of these things, all walks of life, you can best believe Coach Johnson touched me to be the man that I am today. Thank you.
Good evening, all. Good evening, all. How y'all doing? Y'all, I'm put this hat down in front of me because these lights are bright up here. I'm same story like everybody else came up here, man. Coach Johnson saved my life. I never forget the day he came to my house, July 12th, 1997. I was a year removed from college. I was going to Shelby State like a couple of them up here for 1 year because I missed my opportunity. I didn't know nothing about LeMoyne. I was planning to go to Arkansas to play ball, but being stupid, not going to school, cutting school because I had a car. Coach Richardson called my house and told me, how can I trust you to come to my school and do what you're supposed to do at Arkansas? You're not in school right now. And I was somewhere at another school trying to holler at some girl. And shoot, I ended up having to go to Shelby State. Shelby State was one of the great opportunities, the experience that I had with Coach Bertie Sales. I never forget that because he transitioned the words that I'll be a great student here, LeMoyne, to Coach Johnson. Coach Johnson came to my house that day at July 12, 1997. His words was like, boy, I heard you got a lot of stuff going on. You about to be a daddy, and I want you to come play with me. He said, but first thing I need to know, are you going to come to school? I was like, Coach Johnson, yes, sir, I'm going to come to school. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. He said, that's all I need to know. Be in LeMoyne tomorrow. You got a dorm. He told me I wouldn't be going back home at all that day, July 13th. I moved into the dorms, man, and I don't think I've been back home since. Coach Johnson told me a lot of things, man. I still kind of lost my way a little bit coming to school and everything because, you know, a little girl crazy, chasing girls and going to school and everything. I became a father early on, and I should have did some of the things I was supposed to do to stay focused with school. And, man, just think about everything he did for me. I played against this young gentleman here in the second row. I played against this gentleman right behind him, and I played against this gentleman over here at the end. All different lifestyle, different levels of playing basketball, different ages and everything. And that's just what Coach Johnson brought for us. All of us played here in this gym, played against each other. And the lesson that Coach Johnson taught us was trying to be family. That's all he ever wanted with us is be family. Nothing more, nothing less. He told us if we stuck together and did what we're supposed to do, we can win, not just on the court, but in life. And I was appreciative of that man because he was another person that spoke to me when I left to go move to California to play basketball. I got cut and have moved back home to Memphis. Coach Johnson was the first person told me to go back and get your degree. I was a year and a half left from getting my degree. Second person was William Anderson. Coach William Anderson was a teammate of mine here at LeMoyne. Hey, man, you got an opportunity to come back and get your degree. And I got an opportunity for you to coach here at LeMoyne. So I'm grateful for you for that. And then Dr. June Chen Joyner, she told me, hey, I'm going to get you an opportunity for you to come back in school. So 2020, I was able to finish and get my degree, which is something that I wished I would have done earlier. But those mistakes, early on mistakes that I made in life, I shouldn't have waited 20 years to come back and get my degree. But like I'm telling you all, you got an opportunity to get it done right now. Don't stop. Make it happen. Get your degree and make something out of it because LeMoyne has a place for all you all in life. Every company in this city of Memphis has LeMoyne a part of it. They're working for it. They run it. They're owners, vice presidents, presidents of those companies. And we need more people like that in those places out here, especially with honor to be here with one of the first black mayors of the city. So the first black mayor. So just want to say, man, do what we have to do to make sure the LeMoyne names and stay a household name. Everybody, I appreciate you all.
As we close out, I want Dr. Harrington to close us out, if you can, Doc. Okay.
I want you to stand right here, Coach. I want this young man to know how proud I am of him. He has carried on faithfully what Coach started, and I watch you over the years, your dedication, your devotion, and you love this institution, and you love Coach. So I want to thank you for putting together this documentary and for bringing all of us here together. And may God continue to bless you and you keep this institution in your heart, okay? Now, what I want to say this before I leave. You young people, you've been sitting here for a couple of hours, and I got it. Okay, I'm a former principal of high school and all that stuff, so I got it. So I didn't want you to, and you could tell that we love Coach Johnson. You know, he was a man. He did a lot for us, and I was telling Newman I did not want to leave today without saying something that I hope would be relevant to you young people, that you could leave here and get something. And I want to tell you this. Your education, don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted. If you're in school, make the best out of school. It is very, very important, okay? Play by the rules, okay? Play by the rules. That's very important. And I hope, sure you have parents, grandparents, aunts, and they care about you. They're proud that you're in college. I'm very proud that you guys are in college. And all I want to leave you with is make the best out of this opportunity. I'll tell you this, I just did a little piece of a documentary. They're doing a documentary on Lemoyne College, so they asked me to come over, and it took a few minutes, and I thought about it. I drove down, I live in South Memphis, by the way. I drove from where I walked to Lemoyne. I walked 4 miles, 2 miles each way to come to this college in the rain, the sleet, and the snow. I did that for 4 years, okay? And every time I walk up that hill and I'd have to walk through the project, then they would jump on you and fight and all that kind of stuff, okay? And they would call me Schoolboy Willie. They said, Schoolboy Willie, man, where you going? I said, I'm going to school. The boy was still on the corner. And I remember when I graduated, I went back. I had a 1963 Super Sport Chevrolet, first car in my family. And the same guys that would call me Schoolboy Willie, they were still on the corner. And you know what, young people? I left them. Most of them been to jail. They impregnated girls that they couldn't take care of the kids. They became dope addicts, lived in dumps. But Schoolboy Willie was me, the guy that made the sacrifices. And it's not funny. You know, I know that y'all live in a different era. You got temptations. I didn't want to leave here without letting you know that when God gives you talent and opportunities, take full advantage of it. And for you to be in school, in college, take this very seriously. And if nobody told you today that they love you, I want you to know I love you. Y'all are our future generation. You gotta make it. We passing this baton on to you guys, okay? You gotta take it, cross the line. You got an opportunity. And I just want you to know we love you and we're proud of you. Make it happen. Thank you.
I want to thank the panel today. Please give them a hand for taking that time out. I also want to thank Mr. Marcus McCurry here at the college. This is his brainchild. Thank you, Marcus, for putting this together. Very beautiful. Gavin is inside that handled the technical stuff for us with the video and everything. I want to thank him as well. But I really want to thank you guys because, you know, like Dr. Harrington said, you know, you were here for 2 hours. We knew it was going to be a 2-hour program, and you stayed. You stayed and you listened, and I hope it touched somebody. It may not have touched everybody, but I hope it touched somebody and you got something from it. Because like Dr. Harrington, like everybody on the panel is saying, you guys are our future. You are our future. And not only is our alumni going the extra mile to invest, to raise money, to make sure that, you know, we might not have everything, but we got enough. You know, you got to think about, we stopped Coach Johnson's story in 1975, but he played for another national championship in 85. They only credit him with 8 conference championships, but they ain't counting the 6 that he won in the VSAC. They count only the 8 he won as a Division II member of the SIAC. Back when these guys were playing, the SIAC had Division II and Division III. He won 10 in Division III conference championships. This college, with the little resources that we have, got more wins than anybody else in our conference in basketball. And it's been like that a long time, even before Coach Johnson came. If you look in the book, I know women and men's basketball are going to the tournament. Get the tournament book. Look, 1932, we played for the conference championship. 1932. 1932. The second year they had a conference tournament. So you walking amongst giants, and I don't want to keep you, but what I want to do is to thank you for participating in our Black History program. Give yourself a hand. And last but not least, as I close, please, women and men's basketball, please stay for a brief moment, if you would. Everybody else, thank you, and have a good evening.